Right on. Thanks for having me, Ramon, and stoked to be on the show. It's an honor. Thanks very much. To everybody, aloha. Thanks for checking out the podcast. And yeah, here we go. My name is Mikey O'Shaughnessy. Everybody knows me as Mikey Red. Born and raised down in Kalapana on the big island of Hawaii, down in Puna, district of Puna, home of the Daggers. All right. So I grew up and was born and raised down there on the big island, in a shack basically. My mom, I was born in December, so it was just after Christmas, and I grew up on a farm, and at a young age I started paddling canoe because my siblings and my mom and dad joined a canoe club, Puna Canoe Club. So that's kind of like where all my childhood memories began, like in the ocean, and that was basically the introduction of my whole, upbringing and why I'm here on the North Shore where I am right now, as a pro surfer. Yeah, so I got into surfing through my dad. My first waves that I caught were on the front of his board. He tandem surfed with me, and that was at Pohoiki, where that's my foundation of surfing and the ocean. So thank God, my dad was a surfer, and my brothers were surfers, and all my brothers' friends were surfers, and my dad's friends were surfers or canoe paddlers, or both, So the ocean, and they were mountain people too. So at the same time, like, I had the best of both worlds, the mountain and the ocean. I got to learn how to hunt and do that whole thing, go look for treasures and gifts from the land, and so that was really special to me. And then, like, when the ocean was calling, I would do the ocean thing. So canoe practice was, around the clock. I grew up doing that as it's a team sport, and then because my parents were canoe paddlers, and my brothers and everybody, my dad was the president of the canoe club. His best friend was the head coach, and they ran Puna Canoe. They still run Puna Canoe Club. My dad's the race director of the whole big island for HCRA. So, and my mom is, like, God bless them. So my mom is still, she's like a judge in the official stand, and they both are heavily in the whole HCRA organization. So yeah, so that always, whether it was men's practice, women's practice, kids practice, I was there around the clock. So Hilo Bay was where all that took place, and in the canoe halau, basically, I was raised, and so was a lot of other kids, and that's, like, my family. So that's my ohana, and that's where I find home, and where my passion and my heart is, and my community is. So being a part of that is like, it's like jet fuel to what where I am. I got really into surfing at a young age, because my dad was throwing me on the front of his board, tandem surfing. And then my brothers, my brother up from me, there's 5 of us all together, 4 girls and 1 boy. 4 boys and 1 girl, excuse me. Yeah. So there was a lot of competition and drive through my older brothers, so they would take me out or drag me along with them everywhere. And so my older brothers were like as gnarly as they get, for barrel riders and progressive maneuvers. My older brother Kalai was like, he was doing huge airs and going big. And my older brother Dallas was like, he had a whole jet ski influence, and his waterman skills were second to none. So I had a huge, like, leader and hero to look up to, and big shoes to fill, So thank God those guys just, pushed me and motivated me, and yeah, it was so competitive with them, and all their friends were my influences and stuff. So at a young age, I seen where I wanted to go and what the sport was doing, and I wanted to be a part of that. So at a young age, I had this dream and journey that I already, like, signed up for, in my heart. So I was like, 4 or 5 years old learning to surf, and then just like having that as what I love to do and what I would research and do homework about was like, ideally getting invited to the Eddie I Cow, or now like, a Jaws contest or something. So that's what I all work up to along this whole like, career path I chose.
Awesome.
Each time is a huge learning experience, because growing up on a different island, that's not my backyard. So like, I just like, it's a dream and stuff, but being there is like, I try to absorb it all and soak it all up, and I got my notebook out, just mental notebook, so every time I'm just taking notes, and so I envision myself like winning these XXL awards and getting the waves out there at Jaws. So it's really intimidating to have these goals and dreams, but like, so it's, and being like, solo and it being a solo sport, it's really hard to get out there. And so each time I really like cherish each moment out there. I find myself at home and feeling so lucky to live this life and to have these dreams. So like, it means a lot to me, and I'm not just only trying to be out there to win and be like a standout. I'm just trying to survive, basically. So that's why it means so much to me. So being prepared, it takes years. It's a year, like it's a lifelong process for me anyways. It started with just being a dream, and then so getting prepared and being prepared to get out there in the lineup and swing and catch one of these huge waves it's nerve-wracking. It's so the anxiety level is protruding through the roof. So like these feelings are start of being, you get overwhelmed with these feelings of nerves and being anxious. It starts like when you see the swell on the map, so because we've been preparing our whole lives. Like, so I train 5 days a week. I get up, really early and get in the gym with Kahea Hart, Billy Kemper, and McCool Rothman, Jamie Mitchell. These guys are the world's best big wave surfers in my eyes. So I'm really motivated by the people I surround myself with and the best of the best. So the anxiety kicks in at any moment, really. Just thinking about being out there in the lineup, you get butterflies. So being able to either run away from those feelings and be scared of them, or to embrace them and channel that energy, it's definitely really hard to do that. So us big wave surfers, it's really spiritual. Surfing is a spiritual sport. It's really divine, like you're out there in this ocean and these waves and Mother Nature in this, realm of unpredictable situations. And so you really want to have like strong swimming skills and waterman skills, because if you don't like have these skills, you're gonna not only be putting yourself in danger, but the guys that are the rescuers or other surfers like myself who want the biggest, baddest, wave and situation. So that's why, like, there's a pecking order, and kind of like, people for the most part and other surfers, we all respect that pecking order. And if you're like, if you want it, you obviously know who the guys are, and it's about a respect system, and you're not only respecting the locals, you're respecting the land, the ocean, everything, the good omens, the scary omens. You're trying to embrace it all and feel the mana, like gather it. And so these feelings of anxiety and scary thoughts, they flood your brain all the time. So it depends on the individual and how you deal with all that. Competitions, I'm super competitive. I love doing contests. I train with the best, McCool Rothman, Billy Kemper, Kahea Hart, Jamie Mitchell. So and because of the canoe paddling, like I was a steersman growing up in the canoe paddling. So like, but I was like a younger kid on the older kids' crews because of my skills as a steersman. So I get that competitive drive through my parents, I guess. Like my mom was 7 months pregnant during one regatta season, 91, she was undefeated in the whole season. And then it came to the state races, you know, which is the biggest in all Hawaii. It's like our main sport is canoe paddling and surfing. So like everybody's at the beach, so or at these canoe races. So my mom was undefeated, and then came to like the state races, and head coach was like, "What's going on? You're like pregnant," and she was trying to hide it the whole time. And so come the state races, she won the whole gold medal the whole way. And so I guess I get it from there, and then through my ancestral, you know, roots and stuff, like Irish, being so like, you know, where we had a hard upbringing too. So I feel that through my generational upbringing and what was passed down to me. So that's where it all comes from, and so I channel all that out in the ocean. And so yeah, coming from the canoe racing and the koa canoes, and then one mans and long distance, and traveling around the world, watching my dad win, you know, the world sprints. My dad and my brothers, they have gold medals, multiple gold medals, and they're, you know, as good as it gets. My brother Dallas is like I said, second to none. So like I said, I have big shoes to fill, and I get all that competitive drive from my siblings, and even my sister Pulama. She's like one of the gnarliest water ladies in the world, you know. She wouldn't say so, but she's really humble, and you know, like, but she would give a lot of the guys a run for their money, hands down. So that's where I get all my competitive drive. And then my friends, Shaden, Uluboy, like, you know, we just had such a, you know, foundation second to none growing up at Pohoiki. And so yeah, like being now here on the North Shore, like as a young teenager, watching videos, reading magazines, like everybody's dream is to come to the North Shore and you know, like freaking obviously try to get the biggest barrel or wave of your life. So if you're not on the North Shore, it doesn't really happen. And growing up on the Big Island, we didn't really have those waves. So it just was a huge like gray illusion of what the North Shore was. And as we got older and more, you know, like experience out here through our teenage life and doing competitions, like as a young kid, Hassas, and coming over here doing states, making friends with the local boys, and starting to be a part of this community. And yeah, so all the Triple Crown, you know, all these contests that we partake in, I've only done a couple of them. Like it's been really hard to get invited to these contests or get points. Like it's a point system, so you got to go out and do contests on the QS and grind with all these really good surfers that have really good skills, and their goals are to get on the world tour. My goals is just to, like, you know, win at Pipeline and win the Triple Crown, which is, you know, kind of, it's like a world title. So all the best people are doing the Triple Crown. John, Kelly Slater, you know, all these, you know, Australians, Brazilians, everybody wants to win the Triple Crown. So in my eyes, that's like what I wanted to do, and where I focus a lot of my, you know, intention and envision winning is the Triple Crown, Pipeline. So that's really hard too. You got to beat the best of the best, and you can't just beat them by a point. You got to beat them by, like, you know, 10 points. So yeah, being out here on the North Shore, you're just like, you know, surrounded by the best waves, the best surfers, and a lot of other distractions too, like the world has to offer, you know, like it's a struggle. So with all this, you know, beautiful place comes a lot of like struggle. So trying to cipher through the good and the bad and find the balance of, you know, living a pro surfer life and a regular life, and having to work a you know, normal 9 to 5 and get stressed out about all that, you know, rent and nutrition and equipment. But yeah, that's all my goals is, you know, I'm really competitive. It's not all my goals, like it's just a lot of my focus is on competition, but the free surf is a bonus. Yeah, I volunteer at several nonprofits. You know, starting one of the big nonprofits and charities that I volunteer and go around the world with, helping out and volunteering my expertise as a surfer and a waterman, is Surfers Healing. Surfers Healing is a charity based on the spectrum. It's kids on the spectrum. So we go around the world taking kids on the spectrum surfing, and like them, we have so much in common with these kids. They're not any different from us or anyone. So it's I find my purpose volunteering and with these kids, and it's a lot of it's heartwarming work. It's what we do is it's not an easy task, and what they do is not easy, and what the parents the nonprofit is Surfers Healing is I find my purpose with them and with these kids and these families. It makes me feel like I can help out and make a difference in their lives, and to be able to do that is really heartwarming. So yeah, my classmate Kamala Anthony, she also has a nonprofit that I volunteer with too. So and then Volcom works with Boys and Girls Club. So I love working with these kids, of course, and volunteering my expertise. I love kids and sharing with these kids and being a positive influence and role model in their life. So my classmates' nonprofit, Ho'ole Maluo, is they restore Hawaiian fish ponds. So a lot of they're working in the ocean, and these fish ponds are connected to the ocean, and they're restoring them and cleaning the fish ponds and teaching the kids a lot of cultural stuff. So that stuff is so cool and so helpful too. So but what I do with them is I share my my ocean safety skills. So I'm teaching them CPR and then stuff like that, and just the basic stuff because a lot of them are a lot of these kids that go to the nonprofit, that they're at the beach with their families, they're surfing, they're not just cleaning the fish pond, they're swimming, snorkeling, boogie boarding, cruising on the beach, catching crabs, fish, they're doing it all. So I try to just give them everything I have, so that just in case when the time comes, they're gonna have the skills to save somebody's life or make a difference, because it's no joke. All right, so we're checking out my equipment that I use. So this is what I use on a daily basis. Is I ride Future fins. That's the fins that I use, and this board is shaped by Jason Kashiwai. It's this is actually a 6'6", 32 liters. I'm 6'2", so 180 pounds. I'm a big guy. This is just like a step up for me. So I use this on the North Shore on a daily basis. Once the waves are in the 6 foot range or 6 to 8 foot range, I'll be on this board. And yeah, I take my equipment choices very seriously. I want to be on the best waves and stay alive, and then also have fun. Ideally, that's what it's all about, is having fun. So this is what I ride on a daily basis, and works really good. They easy to ride. Jason Kashiwai, he's one of the best shapers here in Hawaii, so I feel really lucky to be able to work and ride his boards, work with Jason, and he's so smart, and yeah, so I ride these the most. Here we have this is a board shaped by Dan O'Hara. It's just kind of a retro throwback board, but also it's got some new materials. We got some sustainable and eco-friendly materials that it's made with. So it's got a recycled core, hemp cloth, and it's made with entropy tree sap resin, I believe. So yeah, Dan O'Hara is working with using these new materials, and it feels pretty awesome to be able to ride something like this, sustainable, and push it in big waves and stuff. It's a lot of experimenting, but yeah, these are super fun and throwback. He shapes all kind of boards though, you know, long boards, short boards, barrel boards. I use his boards a lot in Tahiti, and there was a few years ago, there was um, a contest called the Protest, and then it was basically designed for the pros to use these surfboards to, you know, try these sustainable surfboards and push the you know, level of surfing out here in the North Shore using these surfboards, because, you know, it's kind of a gray area where people are a little scared to risk their lives on something new and different. So I really took that contest to heart and ended up with some success. And yeah, so Dan O'Hara, solid surfboards, super fun. I go to Tahiti a lot and end up surfing down there a lot as well, like I said, and I use this board in Tahiti a lot. I ended up giving a cover shot with this board, shaped by Glenn Pang in Town and Country. It's called a step deck. It's got about 38 liters, and it's a normal, you know, normal polyurethane board and regular fiberglass and resin. So it's not eco-friendly and super bad for the environment, but I try to get my boards to last. Again, I use future fins, and my boards are glass by Third Stone for the most part. And yeah, this is just like a barrel board, I guess. It's kind of flat rocker and got a step deck, and knife's pretty easy in bigger surf, and try to use this in slabby conditions. And then, you know, because I'm a big wave surfer, I got my big wave quiver. These are just some of the boards in the quiver, but again, I ride future fins. They're the best in the business. You know, if you're looking for solid stability and control and the best, strongest fins, future fins again. But this is a board shaped by Chuck Andrus. It's 9 feet, and yeah, can't tell you all the secrets, but this board is basically a Ferrari. So in the big waves, this is what I have a lot of confidence with, and I tend to use his boards in all the big wave conditions. You know, once it's bigger, like even I use his boards out at Pipeline too. So Chuck Andrus is one of the best hand shapers. He's a Hawaiian native, you know, he's got the blood, and grew up here on the North Shore of Oahu. So he's got so much experience and mana in all his shapes that I really, you know, all these shapers that I use, they got a lot of mana, so that's why I base it off of how they, you know, how the boards feel and how my connection with them is. So in what I do is life-threatening and life-risking. You know, I'm risking my life and putting myself in danger all the time, so I want to be on the best equipment. So it's all about being smart, and once you're putting the time in and getting your experience and getting noticed, you want to be using the best equipment. All right, so what I want to conclude to and wrap this up with is a message, like, to whoever the viewers are, or you know, whoever these videos gets out to. Thank you for watching, obviously, and Ramon, thank you for having me again, and it's been a pleasure to be on the show, and hope everybody enjoys it. But to all you kids, or, you know, people who want to experience the ocean and big waves and be around big waves, is I hope I want to encourage you to take a life-saving skills class and reach out to you know, do junior lifeguards, join these community events, and you know, get your basic life-saving skills all dialed in. And yeah, if I do see you out here and you don't have any of those skills, I'm gonna be the first to tell you to beat it. So all right, aloha.